Right. So that was really nice, like the folk dancing. So today is, as I understood this right, it's the flower name day. So anybody who's got a flower name, it was their name day today, and it's like Palm Sunday for the Orthodox Church. So they have Easter next week. We had Easter today. Making a cup of tea. So went to the folk dancing, went for a little walk, went for some folk dancing, and it was good. It was really, what I couldn't figure out was, I had seen a little bit of it in Vaccarel, how people really connect to each other, like where, a group of strangers come together and have experiences. And today, at the folk dancing, I'm making a cup of tea. That's what I saw, so that's what the experience was. The folk dancing group, European folk dance, whatever, and people from all over town and tourists, and everybody was there, and they all danced, and it started with the pretty straightforward dances that I remember from when I was young into the pretty complicated ones. And I think there's two in there that are really, really not simple. I got to see them. It had a real buzz, and people were like breaking in and, breaking into the chain, and they're going around the square, and it was just really nice. People were talking to each other, going like, hey, welcoming each other, but also, opening up space, trying to get strangers to come and dance with them. It was lovely. So I had a good day. I've packed the bag. I also, I thought I'd forgotten my toothbrush and my toothpaste, but they were at the bottom of the bag. Now I knew I had another toothbrush still, so I just bought toothpaste. And then remember I think it was in Hungary somewhere, at the end of my stay in Hungary, I forgot my lemongrass and lemon oil, so I got some of that, and I got a base oil because I had run out of the oil. And now finally I smell again of my thief's oil, which is very nice. And I can make another blend. All I need to do now is buy another base oil and make another blend with the blend for the night for the lemongrass and lemon. And what else did I get? Oh yeah, now it's gone again. For my muscles, it is called. I'm going to use it tonight and tomorrow morning. It is to help with cramps. Magnesium oil, and I added some of the essential oil in there as well, so I can then rub in the magnesium oil, and it'll help with the cramping, because I just cannot get enough magnesium into my system for some reason, because I'm just doing too much, I suppose. And no matter how you look at it, my diet is never going to be what it was when people walked pilgrimages in the Middle Ages. Like we eat so much processed food, and that includes me too. So anyway, and they had other issues, and there were lots of people that didn't have food at all. And I have to say that on that note, that my intestines, like there is stuff, because I do eat quite one-sided. I tried to eat like, ooh, nice effect. Ooh. I try to eat as varied as possible, but it's not always working. So I eat a lot of the same stuff, and sometimes it doesn't fall very well. And then if I haven't eaten something for a while, it really messes with my intestines. And like I can't get away with eating eating lentils like I used to. Like all the bean families. I really need to be walking for 2 hours, and then I get rid of all the air. It's unpleasant. but otherwise the same as with my body odor, like the intense working out makes that there is hardly any odor. It's just, you know, if you sweat a lot, after a while it starts to smell a little bit like muf is the Dutch word for it. It's like dull. It's kind of a dull smell. So I should, you know, ideally I should be brushing my skin. That would be amazing. Oh, and I saw a little harp being played in the main street. And I've decided that I am really gonna stop every day and play. I'm gonna walk from center to center rather than from bed to bed, and I'm going to be playing. That's what I'm gonna go do. Or that's what I'm gonna go try and do, because I miss the playing. My nails are getting too long. So yeah, right. So where was it? The gut or the intestinal thing. So yeah, my stomach cannot take everything. That, to be honest, I think the beer doesn't help either. Like, I should really lay off it. So today I've just been drinking. I had 2 coffees and I've been drinking tea the rest of the day. I went for a really big ice cream. I'm really glad I got those oils. They make me feel better about myself. And I did something I haven't done in over a year. I've bought myself a present. There was this market with all these artisans, and there was this man, and he makes from cow horn. He makes items, and this is like a hair, like to keep your hair together, and it's laid in with mother of pearl, river pearl. I think it is, yeah. River pearl, mother of pearl from the river. And so this is a cow horn. And I saw it and I don't know, I never have this feeling like, oh, I have to have this. I don't really think of the word like that, but I had the feeling. So I had the feeling. So it was 15 euros. And I spent 15 euros on something that was not food or essential. And I'm really glad I did. Like, I'm really, really glad I did. I'm going to try brush, you know, comb my hair and then put it up after I've washed it. I can put it up with my thing, and when I go play and stuff, I'm really glad. I know, it's weird. I'm sorry. That's just weird. So, I saw that market. I had a really big bowl of ice cream. What else did I do? Yeah, and then I went to see I went for a little bit of a walk, and then I went to see the dancers. I came back here and I worked again. So I'm gonna go back and do more work now, and then tomorrow morning early. Suddenly I get really one of those like sweaty moments. I might go for another short walk, and that's really it. Yeah, do my thing here, I suppose. I have a new battery, which I brought back from the thing, because I realized that yes, it's heavy and stuff, but that's gonna serve me better if I decide to go do what I think I'm gonna go do, than having all these small batteries, which altogether still weigh the same thing, and I still don't have electricity. So this will load my phone 3 times, and that means I can be away from the lived-in world a bit longer, which is actually better for me. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to tomorrow. I'm gonna go get on the train. There is a train at 8:40. I'm gonna go try and leave here at around 8 o'clock, and then head, for the train. Get the train, go to Asenovrad, and I should be on the road by 10. I think that's a plan. Now, cup of tea. Oh, and I was thinking as well, like, I know I sometimes say that I struggle, and I do, but this is not like, the struggle for me is not a drama or anything. It's just sometimes I find it hard. And what I realized is that it's the same as when my mother died, and it was the same now with Jet as well. A few days before something like big happens, I get really unsure. Like I make up my mind. I tend to make up my mind at the very last moment, as you may have noticed over time. I change my mind a lot, but I get there. Like I get there. But I've noticed that the times that I really struggled, and that I'm starting to say that I'm really struggling, then really big things happen. Like my mother died, Jet died, and it was within days, and it's like I lose complete control over what is happening, and I'm starting to hear and see things that aren't there. So I was looking at the videos from my last time in Plovdiv, and that is exactly what's happening. I can hear myself say that I'm struggling, that I'm having these conversations that I don't want to have, which were all, what I was hearing was that people were telling me that I wasn't saying the right things, I wasn't doing the right things, and of course I know for a fact, from the traveling that I've done, that there's no such thing. Like each journey has its own pace. This one is really slow. Because everything takes its time, and there's people waiting for us, and yeah. So I was saying about the comments that were being left, and how that I realized I have crossed this threshold now of that it's not just my family and people I love who are catching up with where I am and what I'm doing, but there's going to be people falling in there who actually don't agree with me, or think that I'm like a blackguard, or I take advantage of people because I don't. I've asked people for help, and this is always. I find it nearly embarrassing because it shows. You could argue this is a weak side, like we should all be, paying our way. But what we forget when we use money is that money is just another way of connecting, another way of passing on energy. But it often gets in the way of the personal connection we make to people. And I find it really hard to talk to people about this because it sounds so vague, but it is really that way. When you take away the money and I offer playing music or doing the dishes or doing something direct, so a direct swap of energy, for whatever, for bed or for food, or and people, I had to learn to say yes. I used to not be able to get help at all, let alone ask for help. This has been a life lesson for me, is that I felt very lonely and very depressed when I was not connecting to people in that way. And I don't have to explain how it is that I can travel. That's really, I don't owe anybody an explanation, but I worked very hard to be able to be on the road. And yes, and I ask for help because I believe that journeys like this are made by everybody we meet. So I do the walking, and then the communities are the ones that carry us. There used to be times where you were not able to pass through these parts. It is about connecting. Why travel if you're not going to connect? And somebody actually got really angry with me there online, and I realized that yes, there are people there who really do not agree with me on this. They feel that that people like me are lacking, I suppose. So yeah, I'll have to learn to not take it personal, because it's not personal when people talk to people like me like that. It often comes from a place of not seeing the world like that, thinking that other things are more important. There's loads of people out there who think that making money will give them security, or that buying a house is the most important thing, or that everybody should work 7 days a week to pay taxes to participate. I'm not saying, you know, that any of that is not true. We all have to do our bit. This is the bit that I'm doing. My thing is connection, but obviously, you know, I didn't get this far. My challenge is not to do it without money. There was a Dutch guy who did that in 2010, I believe. He went to Jerusalem on foot and handed in his credit cards to the father. I tried to contact him before I left. He never got back to me. Shame, you know, because it would be interesting to hear what he had to say. We live in a different world now, different world altogether. So, but there is a sense of loss for me to see that, you know, that the pride, you know, that I have about my little channel being all cozy and nice, and I answer every comment because we all love each other, and that's not necessarily always true. But you know, if you don't like what I do, nobody is forcing you to stay here or to watch. And I think the intelligent thing to do is that if you really don't agree with somebody, you know, have a conversation if you feel it's really necessary, and otherwise it's often better not to say anything. There is a lot of stuff I see and I go like, really? And you just let it be. Don't help the algorithm. Then again, you know, if I keep doing this, and I do, it's not a bad exercise for me to learn not to take this personal. And the other thing is, there is no such thing as bad publicity. Like when people talk about you, they talk about you, and I put it out there, so the consequences is that some people are not going to agree. But it brings up a little bit like when I walked to Rome afterwards, I found this thread somewhere on a French social network. I made the mistake of Googling myself. And they were literally saying, like, if I look back at those videos now, they weren't very good, and they were live, and there was all kinds of stuff wrong with them. But they were saying, like, that I was traveling with a crew, that I wasn't even carrying a harp, and I felt so hurt, like, because obviously I don't have a crew, like, at all. It's just me and my phone. Anyway, you know. And I get weekly emails from people going like, oh, you need to do the CEO of your YouTube channel. We can get you like lots of people. But what they don't understand is that, of course, like, can you imagine that I'd actually have like lots of followers? That would be hilarious. And like, thank you everybody who's watching this. Thank you for being here. Like, thank you for being interested, and thank you for being on this journey with me, and thank you for supporting me, and thank you for the love. It's amazing. It's amazing. I didn't know there was that many of us, and that there were so many of you, and that so many of you would be interested even in hearing me ramble. So enough is enough. I think I should put an end to it now. Just to say, you know, it's not a... I didn't start making those videos so that lots and lots of people would watch them, that lots and lots of people are watching them. You know, when I talk about this with other people who do similar things to myself, they always say like, you know, it's not once we put it out there, it's not about ourselves anymore. And also it has nothing to do what other people feel about it. It has nothing to do with us. We're just trying to do our best. I'm just trying to get my bottom to Jerusalem. And I finally get to start to walk tomorrow again. And I'm really looking forward to it. And I'm really going to stop now because I'm going to drink my tea and I'm going to do a tiny bit more work. And then I'm going to go sleep. And then tomorrow is another day. I can't believe I bought myself a present today. I can't believe I'm back here. I felt really empty there for the past few days. It was really hard being away. It's taken me so nearly 2.5 days to actually settle back into being here. And I'm ready to go. I'm delighted I stayed here. It's really nice hostel, right smack bang in the middle of Plovdiv, just above the Irish bar. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Good night.